Hey there, everybody. Time for some comic book reviews. I didn't get to do it last week, so I'm covering last week's books as well. Let's start off from last week. Here's Green Lantern, number 42, by Jeff Johns, and a bunch of different artists. Now, this one actually finished up the Orange Lantern storyline, the whole Agent Orange thing, and it's also a prelude to Blackest Night storyline. I thought this one was pretty enjoyable, although I think the beginning, where they get around the whole thing with Hal getting his hand severed in the last issue, I thought the way they got around it was a bit of a cop-out, so that was kind of disappointing. There's some interesting stuff here with the other Green Lantern, the one that people tend to forget about, John Stewart, along with Fatality, who's now a Star Sapphire. Fucking advertisements. But the bulk of the issue has to do with Hal, mostly on his own, battling Larfleeze and the Orange Lanterns. It's a kind of interesting. I really don't know what makes it so interesting. I think it's the whole aspects of Hal being both a Blue Lantern and a Green Lantern, so he has the hope, he has the will, and he's fighting greed, and it's kind of interesting. One thing that I thought was absolutely crazy was how the Guardians basically just parlay with this guy, and then they sick him on the Blue Lanterns. I thought that was pretty cold of the Guardians, but then again, they're having some issues there. Very enjoyable issue. Also from last week here we have Superman number 689, part of the World Without Superman storyline, obviously starring Mon-El. Now, this issue has several different points. You have Morgan Edge talking about Mon-El, mostly negative stuff, and you have Mon-El himself basically globe-trotting around, meeting different heroes, fighting different villains, and experiencing different things. I mean, he's in Moscow, he's in Japan, he's in Germany, he's in Barcelona, he's in Mexico, so it's kind of interesting. And then there's these two guys, and, with this technology shit, I kind of skipped a lot of that. I didn't find it all that interesting. And there's also some stuff revolving around... here it is, Sam Lane, which I did find this interesting. He's up to a lot of stuff, and basically they're talking a lot about Black Lightning. So I hope he'll be showing up soon. And then in the end, one of these guys turns out to be Atlas, which is kind of a big shock. And last time Atlas was in a Superman book, he beat the shit out of Superman. So it'll be interesting to see how Mon-El fares off against him. Then also from last week, we have Justice Society of America number 28. This is Whiteout. This one is weird because it could have been pretty bad, but it turned out to be pretty good. The whole thing is that several members of the JSA, which include Flash, Green Lantern, Wildcat, Hourman, and Liberty Bell, have been dragged back to 1945 in Japan, where this one guy who was a villain in World War II, and then he turned into a hero, and then he, got killed in the atom bomb blast, and now he's thirsting for vengeance. The Spectre is there. It all could have been pretty bad because it was a prime opportunity for some real political pandering and preaching, but luckily they didn't do that. I'm really getting sick of these push ads, by the way. So thankfully, they kept it pretty good. I mean, I was a little worried when Jerry Ordway took over because I was really into the way Jeff Johns took care of this book, but it's just as good as it was. Well, not really as good, but it's getting there. So I'd say I enjoyed that. It was probably the weakest one that I'm reviewing this week, but it was still a very good story, which shows you this is an unusually good week for comics. Here's this week's stuff. Here I have Deadpool Merc with a Mouth number 1. Guest starring Kazar. That's actually pretty funny. Kind of like the most unlikeliest guest star in a Deadpool book that you'd expect. Obviously, the narration is the big focus here, and the way that Deadpool sees things, like there he sees Kazar drawn in kind of an old-school way, and the tiger is like a little kitty cat, and at this point he sees the AIM guys as beekeepers, and he asks them for honey. His multiple personality thing is extremely funny. Basically, he's being... This is this big statue of Deadpool. We'll find out about that a little bit later. He's being sent into the Savage Land by AIM to get something away from Hydra, and it actually turns out to be... Well, I mean, anybody who's read the solicits for this knows what it is. It's the head of the Marvel Zombies version of Deadpool, which is pretty interesting. And then for some reason, I mean, the issue is very enjoyable, but then for some bizarre reason, it reprints issue 4 of the original Deadpool series, the original ongoing series, which is pretty cool that they did it, but this was just in Deadpool Classics Volume 2, so I don't know why they reprinted it here. Maybe they're advertising that. I don't know if every issue of Deadpool Merc with a Mouth is going to have a reprint, and if it's going to be like number 5 next month, or it's going to be something completely different. I mean, number 4 was kind of the end of a storyline anyway, or really in the middle, towards the end of a storyline, so that's kind of weird. Here we have Green Lantern Corps number 38. This is probably the best comic I'm reviewing this week. Great cover. You got Kilowog holding out the hand with the bloody rings. This is what it costs. There's a lot of dissent, with the Green Lanterns against the Alpha Lanterns against the Guardians. One character that I thought was very interesting was a character that you kind of think of as the Guardians' Patsy is Selak, but he's obviously not on their side in this case. Obviously, he realizes something's going on, and they're all being influenced by Scar, who's being influenced, of course, by the Anti-Monitor. And then you have Soranik trying to remove that tattoo that her father, Sinestro, put on her, which doesn't work, obviously. There's really a lot of stuff that goes on here. There's the whole execution scene, which is really grisly. I really felt for both Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner, who are sort of the major characters here. There's a nice ad for Blackest Night. This is, I think, the last one to come out, last Green Lantern book to come out before Blackest Night, and it really perfectly sets the stage for it. So I gotta say that I'm really looking forward to it. Blackest Night coming soon. That's it for books this week. I also picked up a Rage of the Red Lanterns hardcover, which also includes the Alpha Lantern storyline that hadn't been in a hardcover yet. And I got this Deadpool Thunderbolts thing, which I have to rant about. I want to see if you could take a look at the price here. It's probably going to be a blurry as shit. It's $13, and this is only 4 issues. It's 2 issues of Thunderbolts and 2 issues of Deadpool. So let's see. They're $3.99. I'm sorry, they're $2.99. They're $3. 4 of them. That's $12, and you get the trade. You figure it would be a deal, but they charge you $13 for it. So, well, I bought it anyway because I'm a big Deadpool fan. But seriously, fuck that. So that's the comic reviews for this week. We'll see you guys next week. One thing that I didn't get to review because I forgot to buy it was Batman and Robin number 2. Which is a shame because I was really looking forward to buying it and reading it, but I forgot. I haven't added it to my list, which I should because I have been enjoying the first issue, and I want to see how the second and third issues are before I add it, but I forgot to pick up the copy. So hopefully next week I'll remember to pick up a Batman and Robin. So we'll see you guys next week. You know you want it.